If you caught my recent ActionTiles setup video, you would see how easy it is to control your home from a tablet, phone, or whatever. In this video, we're going to take it one step further and completely deck out this tablet using some different apps and programs to get the full potential out of it as a home automation centralized hub or tablet that we can use to control things. Hey, what's up guys? It's Drew from Taylor Tech, and on this channel we do smart home tech reviews, installations, and DIY guides. So if you're new here, consider subscribing. And hey, check out the video description down below for show notes, product links for everything mentioned in this video. What we'll be able to do is use Alexa to open different apps such as ActionTiles, Spotify, and any other things you can think of using Alexa or a ActionTiles panel. The basic operation of this is SmartThings sends a notification to your tablet, which AutomateIt, an app, sees it and sends a trigger of whatever you want it to happen. For instance, open ActionTiles, fully Kiosk browser, or open something like Spotify. To make all this work the way I use it, you will need SmartThings, ActionTiles, DakBoard, AutomateIt, WebCore, and optionally I know that's a lot, so bear with me. We'll get through it together. If you missed the last ActionTiles video, definitely go check that out. I'll link it right up here, and then come back to this one. That will help you get ActionTiles set up and going. And by the way, ActionTiles is still offering 10% off with my URL and coupon code. Or we'll put the coupon code right here, and also the URL and the code down in the description. So the best browser to use for ActionTiles is something called Fully Kiosk Browser. It's a very powerful browser that allows you to not only run ActionTiles in full screen, but also use the camera on your tablet as a motion sensor or a motion detector, so that when you walk up, the camera will see you and take you off of the either black or blank screen or your screensaver like we'll set up today. There's a lot of other little things that you can do with Fully Kiosk Browser, but we're just going to cover the basics so this video doesn't get too long. Let me know in the comments down below if you want me to do a more detailed video on Fully Kiosk Browser if you're not quite getting it or you want to know more about it. The next app you'll need is called AutomateIt. It is similar to Tasker if you're familiar with that, but it essentially uses tasks set by you using trigger action systems based on different variables available on your device. The last thing you're going to need is something called DakBoard. It's not an app, but more of a web app used for the screensaver in our case, or you can have it displayed on your desktop, for example, to give you different information like the weather, a calendar, or pictures. We'll have it scrolling through pictures in my scenario of our wedding. It's a link from Dropbox. You can have links from Google Drive, for example, or other things like that. So this will also work on a Fire tablet. I have an Android tablet here. I have a Fire tablet upstairs, a Fire 8, which you probably saw in the B-roll. It can obviously be done on that. You may need the Google Play Store side-loaded. I'll have a link down below to show you how to do that. But once you have the Google Play Store, you can do everything that I'm going to be doing here. Okay, so go ahead and install AutomateIt, as well as anything else that you are going to need that you don't have. Fully Kiosk Browser, AutomateIt. SmartThings you'll probably already have installed because we'll need that. Spotify, if you use Spotify and you want that to open on command, get that downloaded. And then after everything is downloaded, we will go ahead and hop on the computer here and go to DakBoard and start to set up that panel. Okay, we will navigate to dakboard.com and you will create a free account. I'm just going to log in. So it may or may not pop up for you like this. It will probably, once you create an account, it'll probably walk you through a few different things. But if you have a panel open, there's a little cog for settings on the side there. So you can set up a few different things. I'm just going to go over this really quickly. I just have mine as the default for mobile tablet because that's what we'll be using it on. I have the date and time set up the way I want it. I don't have a calendar right now. Background for images, I have a Dropbox folder of our wedding photos that it cycles through. And there's a few different settings for here that you may want. Weather, I'm just using the default weather Yahoo for my zip code. And then you can add a news RSS, to-do list, custom message, whatever you would like. So the most important part you will need is if you go into your account here, under your username, click account. Under private URL, this is what you will need to enter into Fully Kiosk browser when we set that up. So copy that, write it down. I know it's a long URL, you'll need to write copy down into your Fully, but that is what we will need. So I will save that for now. So while we're on the computer, we will need some simulated buttons created, as well as a few WebCore pistons. You don't need to use WebCore, you can use a smart app called Notify Me When, I think it's called. Basically all we need to do within SmartThings is when a simulated button is pressed, send a notification, and WebCore is the quickest and easiest way to do that. So in your SmartThings IDE, we'll create a couple of new devices. Go to My Devices, New Device. I'm just going to make this something called, pretty specific. I'm going to call this Spotify Open on Tablet Button. If you haven't already noticed, I do have a cold today, so I apologize for that, but what are you going to do? Spotify on tablet, I'm going to give the network ID. So for the type, I'm going to scroll down to simulated button. There's a few other ones you could use to make this work, but this one works for me. Published home. Okay, we have that one created. I want to create one more called, what do we want to open? We want to open the ActionTiles. So we're going to call this one ActionTiles. If I could type ActionTiles open on tablet. Open ActionTiles, open tablet, something like that. Simulated switch. Simulated button. So after we create the devices, we're going to need them to be able to be accessed via WebCore. So we're going to need to go into SmartThings and allow that. So Smart Apps, WebCore, Settings, Available Devices, and I will scroll down to Buttons. Check of the new ones we just created. Save, 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 save. Okay, now they are available on WebCore. We will hop back on the computer here and add a new piston. We'll do a blank one. We'll call this one Spotify Open on Tablet Button. Just going to be very basic. And we'll do a condition if Spotify Open on Tablet button, any button gets pushed, add, then, action, location, add a task, send push notification, add. That's it. Done. Save. Go back home, create one more. We're going to call this one ActionTiles Open on Tablet. If condition physical device ActionTiles Open on Tablet button, any button gets pushed, add, then action, location, add a task, just like before, notification, send push notification, and we want our message to be, I didn't create a message on the last one. I'll go back and fix that. So we want our notification to be ActionTiles Open on tablet. You got to remember that. ActionTiles open on tablet. We will add that. So save. Let's go back and figure out why that one did not give me an option for giving the message. Okay, I went a little too quick there, obviously. So this one will be Spotify open on tablet. Sure, why not? Doesn't really matter. Okay, so now when those new simulated buttons that we created get pushed, it will send us a notification. So what does that actually mean? So that means we will go into the AutomateIt. The AutomateIt app will see that notification with its text, and it will tell us, and it will realize that text is meant for that specific rule that we set up and open what we want it to. We will start with Spotify. We're going to start from scratch here. We'll add a new rule, and the trigger will be notification because that's what we'll be getting. So notification trigger. And the app that we'll get the notification from is SmartThings, of course. Scroll down to SmartThings. The notification title will be SmartThings. And the notification text will be what we set up in WebCore. So for Spotify, it is Spotify open on tablet. Spotify open on tablet. And that's it. Next, what do we want the action to be? We want the action to be open Spotify. So start application. Find Spotify, there it is. Next, so we can have the rule pop up. We can have a little pop up if we want at the bottom. I don't want that, but we will call the rule Spotify launch from SmartThings. Save. And now let's test it out. Don't embarrass me on camera, SmartThings. Come on. I'm just going to grab my phone here, go into SmartThings. I will find Spotify open on tablet button. Okay, here it is. And I will push the button. Notification, AutomateIt sees it, and it now is opening Spotify. Awesome, beautiful. So now we know that it works. Let's go ahead and make a new one for ActionTiles. And once again, it will be notification trigger. The title will be SmartThings. Notification text for the for the ActionTiles one will be, what did we call it? ActionTiles open on tablet. Next, we want the action to be open fully Kiosk browser. Fully Kiosk browser, there we go. Next, we'll call this one fully Kiosk open from SmartThings. No, I do not want a pop-up. Save. So now we have two rules here, and now let's get into the fully Kiosk setup really quick. So fully Kiosk browser, I have this automatically set up with my ActionTiles panel. As you can see here. Come on, there we go. Okay, so this is just a quick browser. This is the old panel I used to use, but now I use a different one. This is not really a tablet I use anymore. But anyway, when you first get fully Kiosk, you'll need to go into settings, and in the top option, web content, you'll put your ActionTiles URL that you want to use for this panel in the start URL. So every time fully Kiosk browser opens, you will have that ActionTiles panel. There's a lot of different settings you can play around with, but we're not going to get into much detail. The next one we'll need is device management. We will need to go into the screen off timer and set that to 0. We will need the screensaver timer for whatever you want it to be. We'll set it to 20 seconds, I guess. Maybe less, maybe 10 seconds for the sake of the video. So that means of 10 seconds with no motion, it will turn the screensaver on. And for the screensaver URL, that is where we need to get our DakBoard URL from here. So I will type this in. Okay, so after that painful process of typing in the URL, go ahead and hit OK. And I believe that is it for device management. Go back and go into motion detection, which is a plus feature. We will enable motion detection, and also for exit screensaver on motion, make sure that one is enabled. So for the detector sensitivity, I have mine at 95. It seems to work okay for me. That's just one of those things that vary by tablet, so you will have to play with that. Is same with the detector frame rate right below that. So after you have those set, you can pretty much try it out and see if the see if the DakBoard will show on the screensaver. I have mine set for 10 seconds, so a few more seconds. And there we go. There is the DakBoard, and there's some of our wedding photos. Oh, what a great photo to stop on. Look at that. Okay, so let's see if the motion detection works. There we go, back to our ActionTiles panel. So there's basic with the fully Kiosk browser. Now we will need to set up the Alexa commands to trigger those AutomateIt things, as well as add some buttons to this panel to automatically switch to different apps as well. So we will go back into Smart Things and go to the ActionTiles Smart App to add the two new buttons we created. ActionTiles open on tablet, and Spotify open on tablet button. Save, 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 save. Okay, back to the computer, head over to ActionTiles. I'm going to reload this since we just rediscovered those devices. Log in. And my panel here, I believe, is called Hall Tablet. Yep, looks right. Now we will need to add the two buttons we created. And they're not in here yet. So we'll be right back after we wait for a few minutes to get them added to ActionTiles. It usually takes a couple minutes sometimes. So while we're waiting on ActionTiles to discover our devices, let's go ahead and see if you know who, Miss can find our device.
Sorry, I'm not sure.
Alexa, discover devices.
Starting discovery. This will take up to 20 seconds. If you haven't already.
Yeah.
I couldn't find any new smart home devices.
So, I guess we're gonna have to wait for a while for both of them to discover. So while we wait, I'm gonna give you a bonus automation to set up from your tablet. If you have a Ring device, a Ring Spotlight Cam, a Ring doorbell, that's all I have is a Ring doorbell. You can actually set up something pretty awesome that when you do get a motion or Ring alert, then we can have the camera feed show up on our tablet automatically. So it works the same way, similar to when a SmartThings notification pops up. We get a notification from Ring when we get a motion or doorbell alert, right? So it works the same way. So within AutomateIt, we'll create a new rule that says similarly notification trigger. It doesn't matter what the title or the message text says, because whichever notification, either notification we want to open anyway. So we'll find Ring. So we'll leave notification title and text blank because that doesn't matter. And what we want the action to be is start the Ring application. So we will do the same thing we did before and find Ring on the list. There we go. Next, the rule we'll call ring notification. And we will not have a delay on this one, and we will not show a pop-up. Now we'll need to create one more rule that will bring us back to ActionTiles after a set amount of time. I'm going to set it for about a minute. So we're going to set up the same thing, notification trigger, using the ring notification. Next, except this time we're going to have it open fully Kiosk. So basically we're having them open both ring and fully Kiosk, but you'll see in a minute how this is different. Where's fully? There it is. So now we'll have a delayed execution of, I'm going to do it for 1 minute. So the camera feed will be shown for 1 minute. Minutes done. No, I do not want a pop-up. Save. So now we have two different rules set up for the ring notification. One for when we get the notification to automatically open ring, and another one for when we get the notification to wait 1 minute and then open ActionTiles fully Kiosk browser. So what that does is it automatically pops up the ring video feed, and then it will bring us back to fully automatically without us doing anything. I have found this very useful over the past couple of weeks. It is awesome. So I'm going to hop into ActionTiles real quick just to see if this works. I'm going to go outside and wave my hand in front of the doorbell or something. So there's my DakBoard. I will be right back. Hey. All right, so as you can see, it worked beautifully. It popped up all by itself. So let's see if it goes back to ActionTiles. What the hell was that? There it goes. Well, that was weird. It did work though. It went back to ActionTiles by itself, but for some reason it turned off the camera feed about 10 seconds early. But it worked just fine. So that's that part. Let's go ahead and see if ActionTiles is ready. No, it's not. Well, I have exhausted all of my patience for the evening. I've been waiting for about 45 minutes, and neither ActionTiles or Alexa app can find the two simulated buttons that we created in order to show you guys how this works. So I think you guys have the idea down. Basically what happens is you just create those simulated buttons and add them into your ActionTiles panel, and then when you push that button, everything that we set up will happen, and then it will show up Spotify or ActionTiles or whatever else you have it set up to open as an app. And the same goes with if ActionTiles is not open on your tablet, you could tell you know who over here to open ActionTiles, and then the same, everything that we set up will send the notification to AutomateIt to see it and open fully Kiosk browser. Now, in the app, what you will do is set up a routine. So I will show you how to do it. What you will do once it finally does discover the devices is go to routines, create a new routine, and when you say, we're going to say open ActionTiles, I want to make this 2 words because I think Alexa will recognize that better. And then the action will be under smart home, because that's where your devices are. Device, and that's where your button will be, your simulated button. So you will tap that button, which I obviously don't have yet because it's being stupid. So you'll tap that button and then save it, and then when you say Alexa open ActionTiles, it will run what we set up. But I'm just going to show you that working just by me manually touching the simulated button on the SmartThings app. I will scroll up to ActionTiles open on tablet. That's what we called it. And then when I push, there we go. It opened fully Kiosk browser with the DakBoard screensaver. The motion will get that to our panel. So I'll scroll to the Spotify one here and try that. Push. That one had a little bit of a delay that time, about a 5-second delay, which it's coming from a notification, so it may or may not have a delay. That's the longest delay I've had so far, but I think my tablet's being a little wonky. My phone got the notification right away. Anyway, that's it. It's pretty awesome little system. You got a lot of different things going on, so it may or may not work perfectly for you. But I thought it was a pretty awesome workaround to get your tablet automated through your SmartThings, ActionTiles, and some other systems. But that's going to be it for this one. I'm sorry I couldn't finish the automations fully. I'm sure it's a SmartThings issue why ActionTiles and Alexa wasn't able to recognize those devices right away. But we got the main setup done, and I think you guys will be able to figure out the rest on your own. So that is it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something new today. And as always, make sure you subscribe and hit that like button down below if you did enjoy it. I will see you in the next one, and remember, stay smart.